encourages improvement on social protection system. Waskita Karya negotiates 5 toll roads divestment. Hello, good evening. Market Headline is ready to provide you a number of information from business, economic, and capital market sectors. And as the pandemic is still ongoing, we will provide you the latest COVID-19 information. Please stay safe by taking some simple precautions, such as physical distancing, wearing a face mask, avoiding crowds, cleaning your hands, and having less mobility. With me, Wicky Adrian, this is Market Headlines. In order to improve social protection programs, it is imperative to improve data system. The Minister of National Development Planning assesses that steps to improve the system must be taken to ensure that efforts to reduce poverty can be achieved. The government continues to make efforts to improve the management of poverty alleviation programs by managing data in poverty alleviation programs in an integrated manner. For this reason, the Minister of National Development Planning, Suharso Monoarfa, encourages welfare centers and an integrated service and referral system to help overcome poverty. Suharso said that there are 2 important pillars of reforming the national protection system. First, data transformation towards socio-economic registration. Second, Bappenas encourages the integration of social protection programs so that they can run effectively and efficiently.
Keterjangkauan untuk mengidentifikasi seluruh kelompok yang terdampak itu sangat diperlukan. Maka ke depan kita akan menggunakan registrasi sosial ekonomi dalam pengelolaan program sosial ekonomi, bahkan perluasan penerimaan pajak. Dalam hal ini, peranan pemerintah daerah untuk melakukan pemutakhiran data menjadi sangat strategis agar keakurasian data dan kualitasnya terjaga. Yang kedua, kita akan melakukan integrasi program perlindungan sosial.
It is hoped that with the presence of a social welfare center and an integrated service and referral system, improvements to the data system to the integration of social protection programs can accelerate the efficiency of government programs. Jakarta, Radio Patmo, IDX Channel. In order to increase the role of villages in reducing poverty, the Ministry of Villages Development of Underdeveloped Regions and Transmigration supports efforts to improve the system and integration of social protection programs. The ministry will also encourage optimization of the use of village funds by issuing implementing regulations in the near future. The Ministry of Villages Development of Underdeveloped Regions and Transmigration reminded the importance of village development plans based on the implementation of policies that are in accordance with the latest data. In addition, the use of village funds will be focused on being able to be used effectively, efficiently, and on target in alleviating poverty in various regions. For this reason, the ministry provides space for updating village data. In addition, all programs in the village will truly refer to the needs of the community.
Tahun 2021 ini kita melakukan memberikan ruang yang cukup kepada desa untuk melakukan pemutakhiran data desa. Nah, berbasis data mikro inilah nantinya kita berharap mulai tahun 2021 untuk perencanaan pembangunan atau rencana kerja pemerintah 2022 itu sudah betul-betul berbasis pada masalah, berbasis pada problematika yang dihadapi warga masyarakat, bukan berbasis pada keinginan elit-elit desa.
The minister hopes that later in the 2022 Village Government Work Plan, the implementation of village funds will be based on problems faced by residents. Jakarta, Raju Padmo, IDX Channel. Minister of State-Owned Enterprises Erick Thohir revealed that the State Electricity Company or PLN had refinanced the debt amounting to 30 trillion rupiah.
Minister of State-Owned Enterprises Erick Thohir said the State Electricity Company or PLN had refinanced the debt amounting to 30 trillion rupiah. This is done to reduce the burden on the state-owned company in paying debts, especially in terms of interest. Erick revealed that PLN has a total debt of 500 trillion rupiah. Of this amount, the company refinanced 30 trillion rupiah in order to get cheaper interest. Erick said PLN will refinance more debt. This is done so that the company can get cheaper interest in the future, so the burden is reduced. In addition, Erick asked PLN not to work on unimportant or strange projects. Companies must make strict selections in order to remain financially stable. In 2020, PLN President Director Zulkifli Zaini admitted that the company's debt management was unhealthy. IDX Channel reports.
Moving on to global update, Turkey's central bank held its benchmark interest rate, defying President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's calls for a cut. Meanwhile, the Walt Disney Co. swung into a profit in its most recent quarter as reopened parks provided a revenue bounce. More stories on today's International Minute.
The outlook for global oil markets darkens on Thursday after the International Energy Agency or IEA said that slowing demand for crude in the wake of restrictions imposed to curb the fast-spreading Delta variant is colliding with a recent increase in global crude production. But the news is likely to be welcomed by the White House, which prodded the OPEC to open the oil taps further, which would help lower petrol prices in the United States. The Turkish lira rallied to lead gains among emerging market peers after Turkey's central bank held its benchmark interest rate, defying President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's calls for a cut. The currency rose as much as 1.2% after the Monetary Policy Committee held its one-week repo rate at 19% for the fifth month as forecast by all 20 analysts surveyed by Bloomberg. Mexico's central bank raised borrowing costs for the second consecutive meeting Thursday as stubbornly elevated and above-target consumer price increases have begun to contaminate inflation expectations. Banco de Mexico boosted its key interest rate by a quarter point to 4.5% after a surprise hike in June that did little to tame inflation, currently running at almost double the bank's target. The Walt Disney Company swung to a profit in its most recent quarter as reopened parks provided a revenue bounce. Revenue in the Parks and Products division surged to $4.3 billion from $1.1 billion a year ago, as theme parks closed last year were open for part of all of this year's quarter. IDX Channel reports.
Market headlines will be right back after the break. Stay tuned.
Jika Anda adalah investor saham, Anda mendapat keuntungan di antaranya capital gain, yaitu keuntungan dari selisih harga beli dan harga jual saham. Dividen, yaitu pembagian laba kepada pemegang saham. Keuntungan lainnya, investor bisa memperoleh pendapatan tambahan dengan meminjamkan sahamnya melalui layanan pinjam meminjam efek atau PME. Apa itu PME? PME merupakan pinjaman efek sementara berupa saham dari investor untuk keperluan penyelesaian transaksi bursa. Apa saja manfaat yang didapatkan? Investor memperoleh keuntungan. Investor tetap dapat menerima dana sebagai pengganti dividen jika ada pembagian dividen saat sahamnya sedang dipinjamkan. Pendapatan yang diterima investor dari layanan PME dapat digunakan untuk membayar biaya penyimpanan saham. Saat nilai saham turun, investor tetap dapat memperoleh pendapatan hingga mengurangi potensi kerugian. Dan yang terpenting, KPEI menjamin pengembalian saham yang dipinjamkan sesuai waktu yang telah ditentukan. Menarik bukan? Prosesnya sangat sederhana. Investor cukup menghubungi perusahaan sekuritas dan menandatangani formulir perjanjian PME. Selanjutnya, jika terdapat kebutuhan penyelesaian transaksi bursa oleh peminjam, saham yang akan dipinjamkan diserahkan kepada KPEI melalui perusahaan sekuritas. Setelah proses PME selesai, maka KPEI akan mengembalikan saham yang telah dipinjamkan dan memberikan pendapatan kepada investor melalui perusahaan sekuritas. Segera hubungi perusahaan sekuritas Anda, Customer Care KPEI, atau kunjungi website kami untuk mengetahui layanan PME. PME, pinjamkan sahamnya, dapatkan manfaatnya.
Aku pengen budaya kita masuk ke luar negeri semuanya.
Welcome back. Along with the takeover of the Rokan block from Chevron Pacific Indonesia, Pertamina said it was ready to boost production of the Rokan block to support the government's target for oil production of 1 million barrels per day by 2030.
Pertamina officially took over the Rokan block in Riau from Chevron Pacific Indonesia on Monday, 9 August 2021. Now, the Rokan block is managed by Pertamina Hulu Rokan as a subsidiary of Pertamina. Pertamina Hulu Rokan managed a working area of 6,264 square kilometers with 10 main fields. Through this action, Pertamina President Director Nike Widiawati said the company would support the government's target to achieve the oil production target of 1 million barrels per day in 2030 by boosting oil production in the Rokan block. From the records of Special Task Force for Oil and Gas, the average oil production in the Rokan block is around 160.5 thousand barrels per day in July 2021. This figure is equivalent to 24% of national production and 41 million cubic feet per day for natural gas. IDX Channel reports.
Yes, the Rokan block has officially been taken over by Pertamina. The potential of the Rokan block must certainly be optimized. However, before we talk further, let's dig up information about the Rokan block profile in the first graphic. This is Rokan block working area. The total area is as much as 6,453 kilometer square, 10 main fields, and 11.69 billion barrels of total oil production from 1951 to 2021. 24% of national production previously, 46%. From 1971 to 2021, Chevron Pacific Indonesia managed the block. And 2021 to 2041, Pertamina Hulu Rokan will manage the block. Pertamina Hulu Rokan officially took over the Rokan block on August 9, 2021. The Pertamina subsidiary will manage the oil block until 2041. Previously, this area was managed by Chevron Pacific Indonesia for the last 50 years. Meanwhile, regarding the transfer of management of the Rokan block, SOE Minister Eric Thohir said that the transfer of management of the Rokan block could be a special gift on Indonesia's 76th Independence Day on August 17, 2021. So after the transfer of management, what about the production activities of the Rokan block? The information is in the next graphic. This is Rokan block production activities, 160.5 thousand BOPD by July 2021. It is targeted to reach 165,000 BOPD end of 2021. The new well drilling, 161 new wells in 2021 and 500 new wells in 2022. And the Rokan Block ever scored the highest production, touching almost 1 million barrels per day in 1973. The average contribution of Rokan Block production for the last 70 years is around 46% of the national petroleum product. Now, the Rokan Block is one of Indonesia's pillars in boosting oil production by 1 million barrels per day and 12 billion cubic feet per day of natural gas in 2030. And then what are the targets for managing the Rokan Block? Is there an investment fund that has been prepared? The answer is in the next graphic. Rokan Block management target, $2 billion investment by 2025. Meantime, increase on conventional oil and gas and support the target of 1 million BOPD. And along with the $2 billion investment in the Rokan Block, Pertamina's President Director Nika Widiawati said that Pertamina is committed to continuing what Chevron has been doing in the Rokan Block. One of them is carrying out massive well drilling activities. In the same time, additional production from the Rokan Block is expected to increase Indonesia's oil export capacity. But how is the level of Indonesia's export so far? Let's see the data on the next graphic. As you can see, the export data from 2016 to 2020, it was pretty slow compared to import performance of Indonesian oil. The highest Indonesian oil in 2018, it was on the level of $17.6 billion. Meantime, for the highest oil export from Indonesia is recorded in 2000 or was recorded in 2019, it was on the level of $1.8 billion. Minister of Energy and Mineral Resources Arifin Tasrif hopes that Pertamina Hulu Rokan will be able to aggressively increase production for the rest of this year and the following year, considering that the Rokan Block is one of the largest blocks in Indonesia with a strategic value in the target of 1 million barrels. The aggressive increase in Rokan Block production is also aimed at suppressing oil imports, which are also always carried out from year to year to meet domestic needs. And hopefully the Rokan Block takeover will deliver a greater benefit for Indonesia, especially in domestic energy needs and Indonesia's oil trade. And stay tuned on Market Lens because we'll be right back after the break.
Proses penilaian IDX Channel Anugerah Inovasi melihat beberapa indikator, diantaranya adalah dampak dari inovasi terhadap perusahaan, kemudian sustainability, kemampu terapan perusahaan, serta kita melihat dari sisi originalitas dari ide itu. Pemenang-pemenang dari ajang ini tidak berhenti untuk melakukan inovasi, melainkan terus mendorong inovasi itu untuk selalu menjadi yang terbaik, selalu menjadi yang terbaru, dan untuk mengantisipasi perubahan yang ada di dalam lingkungan bisnis.
IDX Channel Anugerah Inovasi Indonesia 2021, Kamis pukul 8 malam.
Saya Prisa Samodatu membawakan program berita News Screen yang menghadirkan informasi seputar ekonomi maupun juga bisnis dari dalam negeri.
Pemerintah semakin percaya diri mampu merealisasikan ekspektasi pertumbuhan yang tinggi.
Kita lihat dari PMI market, kita sudah mencapai yang tertinggi.
Kementerian Keuangan memastikan tidak akan mengenakan PPN pada barang kebutuhan pokok.
Berbeda ketika sembako ini sifatnya premium.
Pemerintah kembali memutuskan untuk memperpanjang pemberlakuan pembatasan kegiatan masyarakat atau PPKM skala mikro.
Tidak ada sesuatu yang tidak mungkin. Tapi di situ kita harus disiplin, konsen, punya prinsip, dan jangan pernah males. Males itu hal yang paling.
on the last segment, at the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement earlier today, JCI was opened at a level of 6,154.05. Then approaching the closing time of the session, the index was at a level of 6,133.83. Then the index was showing weakening trend by the second session closing time. Index was closed at the level of 6,139.46. In short, JCI went down 0.01%. And next, we're going to see the sectoral movement leading the dynamics of today's trading. We got industry as the leader of the strengthening trend that went up 0.71%. Non-cyclic went up 0.65%. And next, we have cyclic as the leader of the weakening trend, went down 1.66%, and the technology went down 1.55%. And moving on to top gainers and top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading session. BBCA went up 1.75% to the level of 32,050 rupiah per share. BBYB went up 1.86% to the level of 1,640 rupiah per share, and BBRI went up 1.57% to the level of 3,870 rupiah per share. And Astra International went up 1.72% to the level of 5,025 rupiah per share. The top losers for today's trading, we got Buka went down 1.04% to the level of 955 rupiah per share. Arto went down 2.84% to 16,225 rupiah per share. Friend went down 6.71% to the level of 139 rupiah per share. And Antam went down 0.83% to the level of 2,380 rupiah per share. And this is the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. Opened at the level of 14,389 rupiah, was also showing weakening trend towards US dollar, was closed at the level of 14,410. In summary, rupiah went down 0.15%. Waskita Karya is negotiating the plan to divest its 5 toll road sections. Negotiations are targeted to be completed in the fourth quarter of 2021.
Waskita Karya is negotiating the plan to divest its 5 toll road sections. Negotiations are targeted to be completed in the fourth quarter of 2021. Waskita Karya President Director Destiawan Suwarjono said the company originally targeted the divestment negotiations of 5 toll roads to be completed in the third quarter of 2021. However, the process was slow due to the COVID-19 pandemic. He explained that there are actually 9 toll roads that will be sold. However, the realization is only 4 toll roads by first semester of 2021. Waskita Karya Management targets the refresh funds of up to 10 trillion rupiah from the corporate action. This will reduce the company's burden in the future. For information, Waskita Karya has previously divested some of its toll roads, such as Jasa Marga Kuala Namu Toll to King Rings. Then Waskita Karya sold 40% of its share in Waskita Toll Road to Jasa Marga Semarang Batang, and 35% of Waskita Toll Road's share to Cinere Serpong Jaya. The entire divestment is part of management's commitment to reduce the company's burden and create a sustainable business. IDX Channel report.
Although digital services continue to be in demand by the public, listed company in banking sector, Bank Central Asia, sees automatic teller machines or ATM still needed by customers today. BCA will continue to add ATM machines to meet these needs.
Listed company in banking sector, Bank Central Asia or BBCA, will continue to add ATM machines to meet customers' needs. As of June 2021, BCA is supported by 17,721 ATMs throughout Indonesia. Until first semester of 2021, the transaction value at BCA ATMs grew 4.5% year-on-year from 996 trillion rupiah to 1,041 trillion rupiah. Nevertheless, transaction in BCA mobile banking jumped 49% year-on-year from 1,197 trillion rupiah to 1,783 trillion as of June 2021. Likewise, BCA internet banking transaction rose by 32.8% from 5,271 trillion rupiah to 7,001 trillion rupiah in the first half of 2021. In frequency, transactions at BCA ATM machines increased by 18% year-on-year from 414 million times to 488 million transactions in the second quarter of 2021. Meanwhile, BCA internet banking transactions rose 33% from 750 billion transactions to 1 billion transactions. Likewise, BCA mobile banking transactions jumped 66% year-on-year from 1.41 billion times to 2.35 billion times in June 2021. IDX Channel reports.
A shrimp-based frozen food listed company, Pancamitra Multi Perdana, with a stock code PMMP, recorded total sales of more than 9,600 tons of in the first half in 2021. This achievement increased by 2.8% on an annual basis.
Pancamitra Multi Perdana with the stock code PMMP recorded total sales of more than 9,600 tons in the first half of 2021. This achievement increased by 2.8% on an annual basis. The sales volume in the first half of this year up from last year's 9,412 tons. This achievement was in line with the company's target by the end of the year, which was 19,000 tons for the total sales. To support the realizations of the target, there will be a Pancamitra factory which has just been completed in the building process and operates starting at the end of August 2021. Christian Jonathan Sutanto, Corporate Secretary of PMMP, added that PMMP's performance and achievements up to the bid term this year were also in line with Pancamitra's business strategy. Pancamitra recorded an increase in sales of value-added shrimp products by 23.9% on an annual basis and an increase in sale of cooked shrimp products by 24.7% on an annual basis in the first semester of 2021. PMMP hopes to increase profitability this year and then focus on cooked and value-added products. IDX Channel report.
Step aside from market condition as coronavirus pandemic takes big role in current economic situation, and here is an update data about coronavirus globally. And the news close our market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, your trustworthy economic, business and capital market channel. And as the COVID-19 pandemic is still going on, keep protecting your family by following the health protocols, wearing face masks, keep your distance and stay away from crowds, wash your hands through running water, and also continue to support the vaccination program to accelerate the creation of herd immunity. I'm Wicky Adrian. Have a nice evening and stay safe.